All right, we're live. We are live. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. Welcome to another episode of Workforce Ready with NSTAR. Uh, uh, I'm your trainer for today, Namdi, and I'm excited to be speaking on an exciting topic. If you can see that in the chat, let me know. But I'm thrilled to talk about this, and it's are database administrators still in demand? Right, that's my topic for today. Welcome again to Workforce Ready with NSTAR. We talk about database administration and all things tech, really. It's about helping people transition into careers in information technology, in making that as seamless as possible. But also, we are equipping you with just what it takes to not just make that career transition, but to thrive on your job. So that's what we do here, and this is powered by NSTAR Technologies. So welcome again. Now, diving right into today's topic again, are database administrators still in demand? First of all, again, the reason why I talk about database administration all the time is because that is the area where I am the trainer and faculty at Answer Technologies. We do talk about other things outside of database administration, but for today, we were sticking with my favorite tech career path, which is database administration. All right, and again, if you're watching this, let me know your thoughts in the chat. But there's a lot of buzz around AI, artificial intelligence, and automation, and people are genuinely worried, um, about their careers. Whether it's you're looking to make that career transition into database administration, and now you're wondering, is this something that will still be there for me? Is this a viable career path with artificial intelligence going the way it's going, with AI doing what it's doing? And you've probably heard quotes and different things by various leaders in tech talking about how certain jobs are going to become obsolete because of database administration. I think I saw one in particular. I think it was the OpenAI CEO, was it Mark Zuckerberg, one of the those guys, and they were talking about how in the next so amount of years, development jobs will all be gone because of artificial intelligence. And so now people are genuinely worried about, is my own job safe? And am I going to still have a career, here? For people who are looking to get in, they're wondering, is this still an exciting career path for me? These are very valid concerns to have, but I am here to tell you today I'll be answering those questions and hopefully quelling some of those concerns that you have. Now, the demand for database administration is not, and I want to categorically state before we go deep into it, it's not going to reduce. In fact, it is not only strong, but it is evolving. I mean, it's evolving, it's growing, especially with the rise of data-driven businesses. Okay, every business, and I say this, in fact, today I was saying this to a student in a session I just finished before I jumped on this live. And I've said this 1,000 times, I will keep saying it. Every business, regardless of industry, niche, platform, what they do, every business entity is powered by data, right? At the core of every business, and I can go business by business, example by example, industry to industry. Every business is powered by data. Data is at the core, regardless of what they do, whether it's healthcare. If data is compromised, you don't have a business, right? If it's financial services, compromise the data and the business is compromised. Retail solutions, data compromise, business compromise. Like data drives all of these businesses. We live in the data era. Artificial intelligence is powered by data. All right. And so, if data is powering all of this innovation and advancements in technology, and pretty much every job, every technological, advancement, especially with artificial intelligence and all of that, why do we think we'll be out of work? What happens? It is like we live in the data era. The amount of data, it's in the trillions of terabytes. The volume of data being generated on a daily basis. Half of the world is into content creation. It's all new data being generated all the time, right? It's new data. I am going through this live session right now. I am creating data, right? We call it content, but it's really data, and this data needs a home. That home is a database. Somebody needs to be responsible for ensuring that the database is where it, or the data is where it needs to be. The right people have access to it, right? So I'm pretty sure you watching this video today, you've taken a picture, all right? You've sent a text. You are contributing to the data economy. All right. And so, with this data driven ecosystem that we live in, careers in data will always be relevant. You will always have need for database administrators, database engineer. It is just the era we live in. And so the demand is not reducing. I want to be very categorical with stating that it is not reducing. It is not. It's only There's only an evolution going on in how data is managed and how data is administered, and that's where we need to start evolving and adjusting with the evolution of the technology and how data is managed, or how data is generated and administered. We also need to evolve and leverage the advancements in technology. All right. So I kind of hope that has quelled your doubts and fears. I wanted to get that out of the way in the first few minutes of this session. So, database administrators are more important today than they have ever been. We are more important today than we've ever been. Again, I've talked about the data explosion, right? The sheer volume of data being generated today is ridiculous. And what happens is all of these organizations that are responsible for managing this. So every artificial intelligence platform, for example, every AI platform is trained is trained. But when somebody's saying I'm training my AI to behave a certain way or to do certain things, all they are doing is providing a certain data set to that platform or to their tool to respond intelligently, right? To step into certain roles that they want the AI to operate under. So it's still data that you're leveraging. So there is a need for internally data experts within organizations to help them make sure that data is safe, it's available and accessible to the right people. And that expert is the database administrator. We are referred to as the guardians of the data, right? Some people say the guardians of the digital trust. The position of the database administrator is a critical role, right? Where our job, we are responsible for data integrity, for privacy, security, availability of data, or like all of this. If you do a transaction online, if you send money to somebody through Zelle, through Venmo, or whatever platform, you expect it to get there instantly, even if the person you are sending the money to is based in a different state or lives out of town, right? That transaction is expected to be instant. That data availability, the reason why I expect that to be instant is because I know money is not physically leaving Georgia to Texas, but records are being updated in real time to where I can send money internationally, and in a matter of seconds, they have confirmation that there is money in their account, right? That's a function of that's an example of what a database administrator is doing. That is possible because we've implemented systems in the back end to ensure that that is happening, right? When you go sign into your bank account, right, as a user with, say, you're a banker, you bank with Bank of America or Chase Bank or any of these other banks, right? You're not wondering who's you're not going to mistakenly sign in and have access to someone else's information or data, right? Or somebody else's account information. You have access to yours. DBAs are putting in place infrastructure to ensure that that is happening. I want you to see why our job and our role is super important and why it's not going to ever, like, the role of the DBA is not going to disappear. Okay, it's more than ever before. It's needed. So if you are one who is on the fence about exploring a career in this lane, then you want to like it's still as relevant as it was yesterday in time past. The demand is only so much more higher. All right. So you're wondering, okay, how does AI affect us and what we do? I'm glad you asked. Artificial intelligence and automation does not replace database administrators. Um, it doesn't. It does not. It only enhances our ability to do our job. I want you to see AI as a partner. I want you to see AI as a resource, as a tool to help you be better at your job. Right? As a database administrator, if you are able to leverage artificial intelligence, you'll be able to get more done a lot faster. Right? So the scope of what you're able to get done is massively enhanced. All right. The DBAs that will lose their jobs are the ones who don't adapt, who don't expand their skill set, right? That's what AI is for. AI is your partner in your career partner. He's your before you'd need to bounce ideas off of a teammate or something. Now you have your digital colleague who you can give and share thoughts and ask questions, and then it has access to an unlimited pool of information where it can give you back and even give you references. Okay, so it's same way you would have maybe had to go to a Stack Overflow or gone to any of the online communities to have a conversation with peers and say, hey, who's seen this before, or what's going. Now you have that colleague available to you at your beck and call. It's not replacing you, it's there to work with you, if that makes sense, right? That's what AI is for us. And I can share from experience being in this, world and doing, being a database engineer myself, doing the job on a daily basis. I can tell you that's what it's been for me, right? I've been able to leverage different artificial intelligence platforms for troubleshooting. It's a lot easier now to analyze error messages because you can take your error message XML files, upload that to Copilot, have it do the analysis for you, and then you can study. You can look at execution plans, download the execution plan, and upload that and then do your detailed analysis using these platforms. And it helps you. So what would have taken you several hours, or to look through and figure out and do root cause analysis, I can get that done in 10, in 5. Right now, I don't have to look in depth, right, at different, at your, look analyzing things like my execution plan and spending all of that time, or getting all of my, profiler traces and downloading that and looking through it and hurting my eyes. Now I can do those analysis a lot faster. I can take trends and then using AI come up with a clear picture of trend analysis and make projections, right, for how my data is growing. AI makes that easier for me, right? I want to do automation with, say, PowerShell, and I'm trying to navigate maybe special commands or call certain modules in PowerShell. I can do that research very fast using artificial intelligence. So again, I'm telling you, and I'm giving very specific and technical examples of how you can leverage artificial intelligence to be a better database administrator. Okay, and get your job done faster. Even more routine, or I don't want to call them mundane tasks like creating tickets. In maybe you need to open a ServiceNow tickets, or you use Jira and you want to figure out the correct language. You can leverage AI for that, right? You can describe what you're trying to do. Again, pause. There's the responsible use of AI. So you can't be taking your proprietary information of your company and uploading that or imputing that into ChatGPT, because now you're training, you're making that data available on a global scale. All right. So be careful what you feed your AI tools, especially when you're using that as leverage for when you're trying to do maybe troubleshooting or things. Just make sure you're not sharing proprietary information that is within, that's supposed to be known for only people within your company and the organization, right? Be careful in that realm. But where I'm going is you can literally take what's going on and leverage AI as a platform for whether automation, or just troubleshooting, building out, even quickly learning how to do something. You can leverage artificial intelligence now. Even instead of having to go through YouTube and looking for the right videos, you can go back and forth. with any of these platforms, with Copilot, with ChatGPT, you can go back and forth with, okay, well, this is what I'm trying to do. What is the error message I'm seeing? Well, can we show me how to do it or fix that? Or maybe if I get this error message, how do I adjust? Right. So it's these are things you can do, and how AI makes our jobs easier. It's not replacing you, it's a partner, right? It is a partner because there are certain human skills that is required for the DBA role. There are certain critical decisions that have been made. There are certain thought processes that we have to engage to get to the solution that AI can't replicate. There's a human component to being a good database administrator that can't be automated by through artificial intelligence. And so it's not going to take that away. The role of the database administrator is safe. It is not going to go away. All right. And so our job is so mission critical. The role of the DBA is so mission critical for every organization, right? That they can't afford to have that be something that is totally as outsourced. Okay, think of the sensitive data that we have access to, the or that we have to support. If you work for a bank, for example, we call it PII, right? Personally identifiable information. You can't leave that to ChatGPT to manage completely for you. There needs to be a layer of security in between. Okay, I just described why you have to be responsible with use of AI at work. Okay, there's critical data. A company like TransUnion, a company like Equifax, Bank of America, there is critical data, that there is PII data, there is sensitive data. You talk about healthcare corporations, you talk about hospitals that have to be compliant with HIPAA and all of that. That's the human element. There needs to be decision being made. And investors and stakeholders want to make sure that you have the right, you have infrastructure and human resources in place to ensure that their data is not being compromised. So if you give that all to artificial intelligence to handle for you, then you betray the trust of your stakeholders, or of all the people who are counting on you for the safety of their confidential information. All right. And that's why we are good. We're going to be good. We're going to be all right. Okay. Say that with me. We're going to be all right. All right. We're going to be all right. The AI is not taking our jobs, at least not today. Not today, not in any time, not anytime soon. So for anybody who is wondering, is this still in demand? Are we going to be impacted by the AI explosion? Yes, but the impact is going to be positive. It's going to help us be better and do our jobs a lot faster. The key is don't be left behind, right? Our job is too high stakes, it's too important, it's too sensitive and critical to businesses to be completely outsourced to a robot, for lack of a better way of describing it. Okay, and if you go into, what are recruiters really looking for? It's those hardcore skills, proficiency in SQL Server, for example. Learn SQL is the foundational, language for most database management platforms. And you build your proficiency there, right? Build your proficiency in SQL, in the basic SQL commands. Go on SQL W3 schools and start playing with SQL commands, right? That's what they're looking for. Build your expertise on Microsoft SQL Server as the platform itself, MySQL, Oracle, Postgres. Understand performance tuning, database design, architecture, all of those things that we do on a daily basis. You need to still get proficient in those technologies. So as somebody who is looking to make that transition into a career in database administration, that's where you should be spending your time in, right? And then, start getting into infrastructure. Maybe some cloud computing, AWS, Azure. Just get familiar with the language, get familiar with some of this, how it works. And then maybe some, if you want to explore, depending if you're already a database administrator and you're wondering where am I going from here? What do I need to be adding to my repertoire as a database administrator looking to stay relevant? Right now, start exploring, your DevOps tools and automation tools. Like again, I've talked about PowerShell, Python for scripting. And there's a lot of other DevOps specific platforms that you can use and leverage. Okay. And then the recruiters are also looking for soft skills, right? Problem solving skills, how you approach problems. These are the things that make you a good database administrator, that keep you safe, keep your job safe. Majority of what we do is figuring out and doing root cause analysis, figuring out the root cause of a problem and solving it, problem solving, communication and collaboration, right? Being a team player, working with other teams. Majority of our work is collaboration, working with other groups, application teams, server teams, network engineers, storage engineers, being able to have conversations, come together, deliver a product. It's a key part of our work. So can you speak to that? Right? A recruiter speaking to you is looking to hear some of those things from you. Your communication skills. Can you sit in front of a meeting and drive a technical meeting with non-technical people and make sense? Right? Or send technical emails and break it down to where anybody reading that, it makes sense to them. So these are the skills you need to be leaning into and building on. Those soft skills, adaptability, being able to manage high stress type situations. All right. So how do I future proof my career as a database administrator? Quickly as I start wrapping this session up. And if you have any questions, please hit me up in the chat. I'll be going through the chat to respond to the any comments or thoughts that we have. But what do I need to be doing now to ensure that I don't get lost or I'm not left behind with this AI revolution? Embrace AI, right? Embrace AI, become AI literate, right? Start getting familiar with the general concepts. You're hearing the different AI models and AI agents. Like, what do those mean? Take a course here, take a class. Go check out free trainings on LinkedIn Learning. If you can pay for someone, Udemy, get one. Right? Go on Google and learn about. Just get familiar with AI, general AI language. Get embrace it, embrace it. It's here to stay. Just like social media came and it stayed on, its AI is not going away. Just like every other advancement in technology that has had its time, and it's eventually going to be the norm. So embrace it and start building your literacy, your AI literacy, right? Learn how to leverage AI to enhance your work. How can I imbibe AI into what I do, into my day-to-day tasks as a database administrator or somebody who is looking to get into database administration? And then become a specialist, right? Dig in. How do I, future-proof my DBA career? Build your proficiency as in a SQL Server in Oracle, right? Lean in and dig in. Become solid at your job. Don't just be okay doing the bare minimum, right? If your job doesn't demand a lot from you, don't get comfortable or complacent. Ensure that you are constantly advancing and building on your skills. That's how you stay relevant, because all it takes is one company policy, one acquisition, and then technology demands are, and then a lot of people get caught off guard because they've not been preparing themselves. And so when there's a major shift within their situation, they can adapt. They suddenly they realize they are behind skill wise. So make sure you are, even if you don't use a particular aspect of your own technology on a daily basis, ensure that you are still practicing, that you're still knowledgeable. Have your own lab at home, right? Set up your own lab, your own small sandbox in your house, set up your own VM, your own small network, and keep practicing stuff. Just stay on top of the technology, stay on top of what's going on within your field, and continue to grow and advance. Become a specialist, become proficient. Go beyond the basics. Don't just stop at the fundamentals or at the demands of your job. Go beyond the basics. Explore database engineering, big data, right? Data governance, all of these areas. Start getting into it. Cloud computing. Start digging in and exploring these platforms. That's how you stay and future proof your career, because again, a career in data is always going to be relevant, but it's going to favor those who stay on top of the tech. All right, it's going to favor those who are staying on top of the tech and on the trends and on their P's and Q's. Right, so it's not time to take a back seat. It's time to step up, embrace AI, keep learning, keep learning. All right. So again, as I wrap this one up, the role of the DBA is evolving. It's not going away. It's not disappearing. Just focus on those critical skills. Right. Our job is too mission critical to businesses to disappear like that. But you have to evolve. You have to embrace AI, embrace new technologies, and then secure your place. That's how you do it. The role of the DBA is only going to get uh, um, more in demand. It's only going to keep paying more as money keeps increasing. That's all I have for today. If you're interested in exploring a career in database administration or just getting into tech, I invite you to check out the description in the chat or in this video. And there's a free guide. There should be a free training that shows you or talks about just the role of just the foundations of database administration. It's a free course. It's my free gift to you. Check that out, and feel free to set up a call with us, my team. We'd love to talk to you about how we can get you plugged in into this career path. All right. Thank you again for listening, and embrace AI. It's here to stay. Database engineering is it's always going to be here. We are in the best of times to be a database administrator. So get encouraged. Let's get it. All right. Till next week. Keep growing. I will talk to you then.